Hey everybody, it's Eduardo Jackson, CEO, founder, creator of the Cinema Draft game, coming at you with your weekend recap and talent pool preview for next weekend. So let's get right into it. So, ding dong, the king is dead. The king is dead. We have a new winner for Call Sheet of the Week, and let's get started off with him. You know him, you love him, and you fear him. He is a one-time feature presentation champion, and that is Ringballs 22. Wow, this computer is slow. There we go. Ringballs 22. 166.89. Let's take a look at his winning call sheet. And he had what proved to be the most obvious strategy in the world that yet somehow eluded your boy. He had the headliner stack of The Boss Baby and a headliner stack of Beauty and the Beast. He also went with a headliner from Get Out, Dana Kaluuya, the cheaper of the two headliners. He also had a headline. Oh, sorry, not he had a two-pack, not a headliner stack, a two-pack from the Lego Batman movie, which had some surprisingly springy legs at platform release. I think it was on, was it 352 screens? It was 345 screens, and it pulled in about 370,000. So it's good for 3.70 Cinema Draft points, and he also had I said giggle. I'm sorry. He also had Jay Devlin's favorite, uh, yeah, a two-pack of T2 Train Spotting. No, three-pack of T2 Train Spotting to round it all out. And this was good for a 0.59 difference over Gamble 24x7's call sheet, which led the background talent. And actually, no, let's take a look at that one real quick. Take a look at some of these winning call sheet strategies. Oop, that's for this week. From last weekend, because he also had a really good call sheet, although it was not in the feature presentation. Gamble 24/7's call sheet of 166.30 almost made it, not just missed it by 0.59 points. He had the headliner stack of Beauty and the Beast, headliner stack of The Boss Baby. He had a headliner stack from the Lego Batman movie. Very good. He had a headliner stack from Train Spotting. He was able also to squeeze in an actor from Gifted for his. And this actually, it says limited release, but it's actually a platform release. We're still working on that kink on the the post-mortem, the post-live changes in call sheets. This should actually be platform. And then he also had Dax Shepard, which actually was a limited release, I believe, for Chips. And Dax Shepard was a headliner for Chips, and that was probably his only misstep. Even though he maximized his budget, getting in an actor from Chips, even though he needed a limited release, probably was not quite the move. It was the difference between getting Dax Shepard in for Chips and getting in the headliner from Get Out was probably the difference, as in Get Out had a little more juice. Although he did try to make up the difference with some headliners in Train Spotting, but it came down to the difference in their limited releases. Having had Ring Balls 22 use a headliner from Get Out proved to be the 0.59 difference, but great call sheet nonetheless. Congratulations on winning the background talent. Gamble 24/7, but our overall winner was the winner in the feature presentation, which was our boy Ringballs 22. Well played. He wins call sheet of the week. Actually, let's go to our. Nope, that's not it. Let's go to. There we go. He wins $100 and a nice little write-up on our corporate blog at medium.com/@cinemadraft. You will find our write-up on the call sheet of the week, and because I decided to step the game up, since no one was winning these bounties, the bounties now each week will be progressive, which means if they are not won in a week, they will roll into the next week and into the next week and the next week until someone finally wins. So Ring Balls got a $100 bonus, $100 worth of bounties, the call sheet of the week, and the Aaron Rodgers GIF discount double check belt. Good job, Ring Balls. Very proud of you. He's one of our newer players, but also one of our more effective players. And let's see who also had some top 5 call sheets in the feature presentation. We have the God of Cheese, which now turns out to be a friend of Ring Balls 22. Each one teach one. We appreciate it, Ring Balls. Thanks for spreading the Cinema Draft gospel. The God of Cheese had a good week. He actually was our overall money winner this week, not including the bonus. He placed in all 5 contests, I do believe, including 1, 2, 3, winning 3 of the 5 contests. Well done, God of Cheese. His second place call sheet was actually consistent. He used this one, pardon me, it is late or early, depending on how you look at it, on Tuesday, April 11th. No, he used the same call sheet for all 5 contests, and his call sheet strategy was, of course, headliner stack of Beauty and the Beast and the Boss Baby. He also had, interestingly enough, a headliner stack of chips, which is probably what cost him. Instead of spending up a little bit for one headliner from Get Out, he went for headliner stack of chips, and then he rounded off with a 4-pack of the Lego Batman movie, including the headliner stack of Will Arnett and Ralph Fiennes. And yeah, and that was his call sheet. 4-pack of Lego Batman, headliner stack of chips, and then the 2 headliner stacks of The Boss Baby and Beauty and the Beast. Well played, God of Cheese. $77 cleared overall. Well done, well done. Make sure you hit your profile and that cash out Bhutan. Let's see. Gamble, and his was 165.50 points. God of Cheese. 164.56. Gamble 24/7 made a valiant effort in the feature presentation. And I must note, he is on a most impressive run. I think an unprecedented run. He has 12 weeks in a row being in the money. Congratulations, Gamble 24/7. That is Gamble 24x7. 12 weeks in a row. What's that? 4 months? What? No, 3 months. Congratulations. Keep streaking. We're going streaking. What's that from, y'all? Of course, that is from old school Will Ferrell, my man. All right. He also had the headliner stack of The Boss Baby, headliner stack of Beauty and the Beast, oh no, not quite a headliner stack. He had 1 headliner and 1 regular actor from Chips. He also had the headliner stack from Lego Batman and a headliner stack from Trainspotting. Just a point and some change off the pace at once. Actually, just a little over 2 points off the pace from first at 164.56. Very solid strategy, and as it turns out, this is actually a weekend where chalk walked. The Boss Baby pretty much did what we expected to do. Looks like Box Office Pro projected 28 million. To Beauty and the Beast 24.9, and it came in at 26.36. To Beauty and the Beast 23.6. So for the most part, they had it right. And Smurfs Lost Village, I had it way wrong. And if you want to see a bad call sheet, let's take a look at my sorry call sheet. I floundered into 8th with 145 points. My strategy was off. I totally, and I mean totally, missed on Smurfs. Actually, so this is one where I didn't employ Smurfs. I was too scared. I was too scared. For whatever reason, I did 4 Boss Babies, not even taking into account how closely projected Beauty and the Beast and the Boss Baby were. So that was definitely my bad. So getting 4 Boss Babies was just dumb. I could have had 2 headliners for the price of 4 Boss Babies, but I did not. I went 4 Boss Babies. I did a 4-pack of Devotion to Suspect X, which wasn't a total min price or a min score. It was just over min, 1.50 and 2.10 for headliner. I also had, so my 4-pack of the Boss Baby, the 4-pack of the Devotion to Suspect X, plus getting Zookeeper's Wife, which actually I do believe was our highest scoring, well, second highest scoring in the limited release category. Oh, third large. Oh, wow, Logan. Logan did some work, 1949. Good job, Logan. Kind of slept on that. It's probably affordable too. If I had some exposure to Logan, it'd probably been a different story. But Zookeeper's Wife, as a headliner, did pretty well, 7.50 points. And then also, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, and then a headliner from Trainspotting, which did all right. I think I'm off the Trainspotting train. Matter of fact, I'm not even sure if it's in the talent pool for this upcoming week. So learn from my mistakes, kids. Learn from my mistakes. When you can get a headliner in for the same price, you do it, because just going off of stacking one movie when you need some headline love is not going to acquit you well. It'll get you barely a top 10. And then also carry on the tradition of and also rounding out our top 5, Michael Valenti, 162.04, and The Roan. Welcome back to top 5 land for 875 in sweet American dollars. Congratulations, The Roan. That rounds out our top 5. And our boy, Jay Devlin, just outside the top 5 at 157.42. Real quick, since he was on the pod, in the preview pod for the weekend, he had the headliner stack of Boss Baby and Beauty and the Beast. Where he went wrong was overinvesting in Devotion to Suspect X, just like I did. It actually expanded to 46 screens, but we did not see any of that love. Also, Zookeeper's Wife, headline like I did, and then T2 Trainspotting was not quite enough to get him into the top 5, but a solid call sheet nonetheless. A lot more solid than my call sheet, let's be honest. And in following along in going on outside the box, a call sheet, someone that we don't normally cover. I see you, Draft Mom, 134.65 in 11th place, just outside the top 10. In MCC from APA Agency, congratulations, you made the top 10, but sadly just outside the money. Let's take a look at Shanna. Shanna is from my mother, the Draft Mom's knitting group, the PCC Rainier Valley Knitting Group. Congratulations, you just made the money in 9th place as my 8th place finish. Would have qualified me for the money, but as I am a Cinema Draft employee or family member, I am not eligible. So it went to my mom's good friend, Shanna. I see you out there, Mary Joy. Okay, so she had a Beauty and the Beast headliner stack. She had a Get Out headliner stack. Interesting. She had Going Out in Style. And you know what? I will happily eat my words on that. Going in style was projected to do 9.5 million, and it overperformed. It actually was the fourth highest grossing movie of the weekend at 11.93 million. So I guess the early birds, the blue plate specials came out on a paltry $25 million budget, is on its way to profitability. As I mentioned before, with a lot of movies that skew older, these movies have legs. It may not be, in the top 2 or 3 for the next 3 weeks, but it will consistently, churn out some money for you. It'll probably be a top 10 contender for the next 6 or 7 weeks. So congratulations, Going in Style and its advocates. Shanna, she got some Going in Style money. It was actually at a fairly reasonable $9,800 for a headliner. For the headliners, Michael Caine, and $9,900 for Morgan Freeman. It got you 16.70 Cinema Draft points. So that's not the worst pick in the world. Good job. For her limited release, she also had Zookeeper's Wife in addition to the Get Out headliners, and then she rounded out. I think she's kind of ran out of money. Well, no, she has money to spare, but she bet on Queen of the Desert, which we could not accurately chart or track. I kind of guesstimated, what, 30 screens maybe? 10 screens maybe? I don't know. We never could get a handle on what its release was. But it also did not chart on the weekend, so we had to give it. Did it chart? Did we find if it had a? Nope. It did not track on Box Office Mojo, so we had to give it a minimum score of 1.40 for its headliners. Robert Pattinson and Nicole Kidman. As you can see, as we checked out, the Rotten Tomatoes were awful for it, 16%. Audience score of 31%, so it probably did not do brisk business at all. So congratulations, Shanna. She got the last paying slot in the feature presentation for $2.50. Don't spend it all in one place, as you all know. A minimum of $5 required to withdraw. And if you are so lucky to have a balance, I do not, because as I mentioned before, you are not allowed to to pay out Cinema Draft employees or family. You go through the profile, click here, show me the money, fill out the fields, submit, and that's it. Just press submit, pay that man his monies. Yes, Teddy KGB from Rounders, big fan. Okay, so let's get to this week. Upcoming, we already have some players in there. Thanks for all the early signups. Get your slots; they will be going like hotcakes. And let's take an overall look at the talent pool using our handy grid. Our new movies this week: The Fate of the Furious on 4,200 screens and tracking. I mean, well, let's take a quick look at HSX. Some people say it's going to be tracking at 120 million. I think it could be 130 more. If you want to get a handle on opening weekend, look at it. Right now trading at 126.26. If you equate $1 on this site to a million for overall, it's tracking at 126.26 million. Oh, and that overall, I don't play hsx.com. I'm a little busy running this site and this company, to be honest. But if I was doing this movie stock game, which is how the hsx.com, the Hollywood Stock Exchange, works. They're in kind of like the movie futures business. If I were trading that, I mean, you want to be north of 295. This thing is going to be huge. Or as they say on The Wire, of which I am rewatching start to finish midway through season 2 again, this movie is a smoker. 295 is ridiculously low. I think it's going to make 150 million its opening weekend. I think it's going to make north of half a billion domestically. This sucker is hot. It's got a pretty clear field until Guardians of the Galaxy in May to just print money. I mean, what are we even talking about here? This is ridiculous. Anyways. Ooh, sorry, water break. Anyways, definitely jump on Fate of the Furious. If you're playing their game or our game, but we're playing our game, damn it. Let's talk about our game. So Fate of the Furious, Spark a Space Tale, which I believe is an animated movie. The Lost City of Z looks like it's on a limited release, 4-screen, or a very small release, platform release on only 4 screens. And then we're also mixing in its second weekend, Your Name, which kind of came out of nowhere. Did really well at the box office in platform release on 303 screens. It might add a few more screens we're estimating this week. And then also Colossal, which opened on 4 screens last week. I hope it should. We think it might expand to maybe 25 screens or more. Colossal, and actually a good way to tell about that. Let's see if it's playing anywhere near our hometown of Vegas. Colossal movie times. Doesn't look like it's going to be playing anywhere near us. So that might tell you all you need to know. Movie times, listings. Yep, nowhere near Vegas. Oh, look at all these states plays in the following states. 1, 2, 3. So this is actually a really good sign. Look at all these states it's playing in. Next weekend, maybe next Find showtimes near me. It's interesting. So it looks like it's playing in all these different states. So it looks like it is expanding next weekend. 25 is a conservative estimate. It might go higher. Let's see. I don't think it's if the theater counts have been updated quite yet for Colossal. Nope, not yet. You see, Gift has been expanded to 1,000 screens. That's good, but I think we can safely bet on 25 to 50 screens for Colossal next weekend, since it's going to be in all those different states. It looks like. So Colossal's is a new entry this weekend after a 4-screen release last weekend's one starring Anne Hathaway, Jason Sudeikis. Your Name, I believe. I think it's like anime movie. That did pretty well out the box. We'll give it a shot this week. So those are your 5 new entries into the talent pool this week. And a quick overview. We're starting off modestly priced. Spark of Space Tale, since animated movies tend to do pretty well. Jessica Biel, Hilary Swank are the 2 headliner voice stars. Fate of the Furious. You're not gonna like this pricing. $35,000 for your headliners. 33.5 for non-headliners. We pretty much know the strategy here. You can only afford one. So you're probably going to get, it's your pick, Vin Diesel or Dwayne Johnson. Just take your headliner and keep it moving. And then after that, and so it'll be very interesting to see the strategies. It's not even so much stars and scrubs. It's only a star. It's one actor you can afford, and you're going to want to make it a headliner. So you can have either Vin or Dwayne, and then you've got 9 slots to fill with roughly 65,000 in space, 65,000 for 9 slots, which is an average of $7,222. So, be smart with your spend. It's going to be. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't really studied the talent pool too deeply yet. I have a feeling people are want to gravitate towards Gifted, which does expand, and Gifted you're looking at 9,500, 9,300 respectively for your 2 headliners on expand to 1,000 screens, and I think that's not a bad safe harbor this week, because last weekend on a per screen average it was the 3rd highest per screen, doing 446,000 on 56 screens. So let's say it depresses to about 5,000 per screen, then you're looking at that at roughly 5 million on 1,000 screens, which is good for about 10 cinema draft points or 14 points for your headliner. I wouldn't be surprised to see people flock to Gifted as a place of potential value. Going in style, we actually reduced it by 1,000. There's going to be more competition in the box office this weekend. Although, really, it's going to be the auction's going to be sucked out of the box office by Fate of the Furious. So everyone else is kind of fighting for table scraps. Everyone's had their prices lowered. We took a plunge. What was it, like an $8,000, or $9,000 salary plunge on the Smurfs across the board. Case for Christ, we figured to be front loaded, even though. Is Easter coming? I believe Easter is this weekend coming up. So there might be a little bump, but if you assume its theater counts stay static, we actually dropped the price by about 400 because these things can be front loaded. There might be on the lookout though. There might be a slight Easter bump. There might be an Easter, like maybe not on the actual day of Easter, because obviously that's a holy day for Christians around the world, but for that weekend, going to Friday and Saturday, parents bringing their sons and daughters, steeping them in family faith-based fare, there might be a spike on that for Saturday and for Friday and Saturday. So this might actually be a place for some hidden value. We'll just make sure you take a look at our friends over at Box Office Pro. Make sure you go over there and take a look at their Wednesday forecast, see what they think. Because since it did show up on their tracking the week before, they estimated 3.5 million. It actually came in higher at 3.9, I believe. Case for Christ. Case for Christ, go. Case for Christ is not on here. Oh, no, it is actually I totally went right by it. Case for Christ did 3,300, 1,100 screens. Even if it holds steady at around 3,000 per screen, it could probably do another 3 million to 3.5. So just kind of keep your eye on that. At 7,700, you could do a lot for at 7,000 for your non-headliner actor. You could do a lot worse on Case for Christ. Your Name. Just keep an eye on that. They're all priced at 5,700, headliners and non-headliners alike. Your Name could be some value here in platform at an estimated 325 screens. Ghost in the Shell was drastically reduced, as that movie, even though it came in, was it fifth at the box office, it seems like it's made its domestic money that's going to make $110 million budget. It's a co-production between a Chinese company and Paramount. They're still all going to be feeling the pain. Zookeeper's Wife, we anticipate might expand slightly. Just keep your eye out on that. Chips is on life support. Life is on life support. Power Rangers should start to cool off some. Power Rangers down to 8,500 for a headliner. What did Power Rangers do last week? Power Rangers sixth. This might be a case of being too wide for its own good. 29.78. If it takes a steep tumble, just because screens need to be given up. So I'm not exactly sure where screens are going to come from this box office. Maybe we'll see Kong Skull Island. Actually, Kong, we're estimating should be the one to take the biggest hit, because Kong we think will drift down to 1950 for limited, only because screens have to come from somewhere. There's only about, like I said, there's only roughly about 35 to 40,000 screens in North American box office. We're having a huge 4,200 screen release in Fate of the Furious, probably going to swell to about 4,400, as a lot of exhibitors are going to come in late, want to get some of that easy cashola. So just look for screens to come off of Kong Skull Island, because they need screens. Same thing from Logan's going to drop from 1949 to about estimated 1,200 to 1,000 screens. The Shack might have a bit of a pulse only because of Easter coming, but it's probably made its money in its sixth weekend of release. And then Get Out, I left unchanged, because it seems to be shedding screens at a slower rate of all these other movies, although once again, in the thirst for screens, it's been out the longest, 7 weeks in the box office, 7 weekends. You might see it take an even steeper tumble just to accommodate the screens the Fate of the Furious is going to need. So that's going to do it for this weekend review and talent pool preview. Appreciate your support. Thanks for telling friends, like Ringballs telling the God of Cheese. Welcome, God of Cheese. Welcome to the winner's circle. Enjoy your stay. Make that money. And it's on you, God of Cheese, and those loyal listeners and players. Tell your friends. Let's sell this sucker out. I am dying to expand this prize pool. But until we get like 80 or 90% full, I'm going to keep it where it is for now. We need to sell these suckers out. Let's tell a friend to tell a friend. We're also doing some work on our end to try to expand our player base, so hang with us. We should start seeing an influx of new blood in the next couple weeks. Go to cinemadraft.co. That is cinemadraft.co. Follow us on all our social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of them. We even have a Pinterest. Our corporate blog is at medium.com/@cinemadraft. Subscribe, YouTube, iTunes, or wherever it is you listen to your podcasts. We have another weekly podcast coming up for you, but to be honest with you, losing our guest this week. So I'm not exactly sure if we'll have a guest this week. It might just be a Just the Shot List pod. So for those of you who are fatigued by our longer our tripods and quad pods, what have you, this might be Just the Shot List pod. I don't know. It'll be an adventure. We'll find out later on tonight, Tuesday, to see who shows up and who doesn't. But thank you for being loyal listeners. Thank you for being loyal players. I appreciate your support. And between now and the next podcast, hell, go see a movie or something.